Okay. Let me share my screen. Memento. Okay, hopefully you can see it.
I don't know.
Okay. Mason, if you can just mute your mic, that'd be awesome. Okay, Zoe, let her know that I don't know why it's happening either. So just yeah, I'll try and figure it out. Like I'll try to see if I can. Yeah.
I'll have it done by.
See if I can make that go away. Chloe, I'm hoping that we'll be done the meeting in about half an hour.
Finish that slide. I was gonna do the slide I'm working on right now. Get that done.
I don't think Mason knows his mic.
Oh, really?
Wait a second. I can mute him. There you go. So like I said, Chloe, I'm hoping that we can be done in about half an hour. All right, so after our morning meeting, you guys were supposed to read the article, prayer, misperceptions or misconceptions mean the same thing, and difficulties. Who else's mic is on? Somebody's mic is on, I don't know. Oh, Nathan, your mic is on. Perfect. Maybe. All right, awesome. Okay. So you were supposed to read through this article. I'm just going to, oh, it's already open. Quickly just skim through it with you, as you were already supposed to have read it on your own. But it's just talking about how a lot of times people have the wrong idea. Devin, that's okay. You can do it like this afternoon or something. But basically, it's just talking about like the misperceptions of prayer. It's just talking about how people have some, oftentimes people have the wrong idea of prayer, and that can inevitably then work against you. So it's just talking about, you don't need to have like, it's not about rattling on memorized words. Like if you did like formal prayer all the time, like it would be pretty meaningless. Like there's a time and a place for us to recite formal prayers. And it's not always the case. Like like life happens, and like you might experience something profound where you need to pray. And you're not going to sit there and say the Our Father. Like you're just going to it's a conversation, and that's what it should be. So a lot of people misperceive the idea of what prayer should be, and they think that they got to sit down, kneel down, sign of our faith, pray the Our Father, and it doesn't need to be that way. So it's just like, for example, do you ever sit in your room listening to music and you get caught up in the rhythm, and how you talk about, like, you really think like the song connects to you, like the verses express your thoughts and feelings. That is kind of how you can look at prayer. So then we talked about difficulties in prayer, and there's a whole bunch of different ones in this article that talks about why praying can be hard, right? So it talks about like distractions as well as periods of dryness. So you might find that your praying is becoming dry and it's boring and it's more of a chore than it is supposed to be, a conversation or a release, really. And if that's the case, then you have to kind of mix it up, right? Where it says the next difficulty is dryness. It says even in the best friendships, there sometimes seems to be a faded spark. Like sometimes you guys maybe start to have a falling out, or maybe you grow distant. But you have to find ways to kind of bring excitement to your friendship again and make sure that you come close, with each other again. And that's the same thing with prayer. Okay, so it talks about when prayer runs dry, nothing you can do seems to change the situation. In that case, you just need to kind of like, things get in the way, right? Like prioritize. Like if you have kids or if you have jobs, like obviously there's going to be things that get in the way of prayer, which then also makes it harder to prioritize prayer. And then inevitably, when you finally do sit down to pray, you're going to feel like it's a chore. You're going to feel like it's dry. And it's not what you want to be doing. So it's a matter of trying to figure out how can you make praying more exciting. And so you were also supposed to watch this video, which is talking about, Father Mike Schmidt's experience with praying and how he had a hard time at the start, with making prayer a habit. So that being said, in this note, this meeting, we have already finished our forms of prayer note, which is awesome. So we don't need to do that. So all we have left to do is our what is spirituality note. So give me a second to open that. If you're already done the note, that's fantastic. It's not very long, and so it should not take us too long. So I'm hoping that we can be done by 1, if not a bit before. Knox, no licking. He licks his paw to the point where he has like a hot spot on it, so it's like a cut on his foot. So if I ever in the middle, I can't have him licking it. So in the middle of this note, if he's licking it and I stop mid-sentence to yell at him, I'm sorry. So as per usual, if you're writing this by hand, you just let me know when you're done the slide and we're good to move on. Sam, yes, so you'll see on your test review, there is a section I think that is on what makes praying hard. I believe. You can double check, but I believe that there is a section about that. And that's where you would get, information from that article. Okay, my friends, last note of the unit. What is spirituality? So normally I would do a mind map in class because you all know how much I love mind maps and a class discussion. But maybe just write it in the chat really quickly. So I want you guys, in lieu of a discussion, to tell me what comes to mind when you think about spirituality. And remember, you don't necessarily have to believe in God or be religious to be spiritual. So when you think of the word spirituality, just write in the chat quickly, what are some things that come to mind? I'm just gonna get rid of these things. Yeah, something you believe in, definitely. Obviously, spirituality is going to be unique to each person, but it very often, has to do with what we believe in. What else, guys? Wakey. What comes to mind when you think about spirituality? Autumn, that's really awesome. I like that you said a connection with the other side, because like I said, if you're not religious, you don't believe in God, that doesn't necessarily have to mean the other side, meaning God. That could honestly be your loved ones who've passed on, or maybe quite literally souls or spirits. Chloe, absolutely. So the love of self. So that's huge. So when you think about spirituality, a lot of the time, especially like I said, if you don't believe in God or you're not religious, it's about your soul. So it's about being one with your soul and knowing exactly what drives you in life, what moves you forward. And that inevitably is loving yourself. So think about the most common group of people that I can think of that are, flower, that are spiritual. Are people who, it's like a lifestyle. It's not necessarily something they just do for fitness, but they're called yogis. So people who do yoga a lot. So those are the kinds of people, that they believe in the healing power of crystals and, essential oils and things like that. Obviously I have a hard time wrapping my head around that because I have faith and because I believe in God, and I struggle with things like that. But there are a whole, group of people that are yogis that believe in meditation and how important that is, and becoming taking a moment to be one with yourself and, truly understanding your spirit and your soul and what drives you forward. Ooh, what's happening here? There. So spirituality, what is it? So obviously spirituality is going to mean different things to different people. However, for many people, it usually involves a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves and a search for meaning in life. Spirituality is a universal human experience, meaning that every single person on this planet is spiritual to some extent. You know, they practice spirituality to some extent. It always affects everyone in one way or another. So I'll give you guys a second to jot this down. If you're writing it by hand, give me a thumbs up or something. Let me know that you're done. So Sam, for the review, your definition would be the first 2 points, basically, that it can mean different things to different people, but it involves a sense of connection to something bigger than ourselves and a search for the meaning in life. You're welcome. Awesome, Chloe's done. I know that Devin and Mason are already done this. Same with Sam. So I'm just waiting on Simon, Bram, and Ava are usually the ones writing it by hand. Okay. Perfect. And Bram, are you done this slide? I hope so. I'm gonna take that as yes. Okay, so when it comes to spirituality, remember we talked about this in Unit 1. I said that humans, we have this inherent need to find answers to these big questions. And these are often big questions about the meaning of life and who we are as people. And so these are some of the questions that we, strive to find answers to. And we usually try to do that through spirituality. Am I a good person? What is the meaning of my suffering? So if you go through something profound, you might say, like, what does this mean? Like, why am I going through this? Why me, kind of thing? What am I supposed to take away from this? What is my connection to the world around me? Do things really happen for a reason? How can I live my life in the best way possible? So obviously, these are not questions that we ask ourselves every day. That would be, unrealistic. But at some point in your life, you find yourself wondering these questions. Everybody does. It's just our human nature. So let me know when you're done this slide. Awesome. Nathan, are you writing this one by hand? I just realized I haven't asked. Simon's done, Chloe's done. Ava's going to print it. Okay, thank you. So hopefully Bram is done as well. I think that's the only people that I know would be writing it by hand. Okay, so make sure you get this Venn diagram down. This is just the difference, obviously, between spirituality and religion. So like I said, you can be spiritual and not religious, although I know a lot of people struggle with that idea because spiritual, we don't often have like the whole idea of our soul and of being a spiritual person. It comes and stems from religion. So it is hard to differentiate the two, but it's 2021. And over the years, we've become more progressive and we've been able to find differences between the two. So there are a lot of people who will say, I'm spiritual, not religious. So with religion, there's practices, you ask these questions, what practices, rites, or rituals should I follow? So you're looking for that guidance from, figuring out what to do, what should you be doing, like, from a higher power, what is right and what is wrong, what is true, what is false. And then whereas spirituality on its own deals with where do I find meaning? How do I feel connected and how should I live? The similarities between the two are in the middle, right? So they both deal with belief of some sort. They both deal with a sense of comfort. They both involve a lot of reflection. They obviously both deal with ethics, and then also a sense of awe. So awe being like, if you look at a sunset and you were just kind of at a loss for words because of how beautiful it is, you are in awe about that. So it's just kind of like an overwhelming feeling of like gratitude and beauty. Simon's done. Just waiting to see if Chloe's done. And then I think those are the only two people that I wait on. Awesome. Okay. So normally we would do this in a class discussion, obviously, to ask you what are some signs that someone's developed a healthy spirituality. I think the obvious answers might be like, maybe they are very sure and certain about their purpose in life. Maybe they are at peace with themselves as people. They have a high self-esteem. Absolutely, they've reached. You can think about that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They've reached a feeling of accomplishment. Maybe they feel like they've reached their full potential. They're happy and they're content and humble with their life and their life choices. Things like that. Someone who has developed a healthy spirituality, and I'm not saying that they have all of these things. Like you can still have a healthy spirituality and not have all of these points, but you recognize that you have a purpose in life. That you might not know what that purpose is, but you recognize that you have one. You've developed a clear set of values. So what's important to you is very clear, and you stick to that. You actively nurture your relationship with others and or your with yourself and a higher power. If you believe in God, that means praying, going to church, making sure you're keeping up and nurturing that relationship with God. If you don't believe in God, then it's just your relationship with your friends, your family, maybe even just like your community, as well as yourself. And you approach life with an attitude that is rooted in hope and love. So you can see that is very similar to what Catholics believe, right? We want our life to be rooted in hope and in love. We want everything we do and all of our decisions to be rooted in love, thinking about what's best for other people and what's best for ourselves. We put other people before ourselves, and we treat people the way that we would want to be treated. So you can see that those values and that lifestyle, and if you live that way, yes, you can say that those are Catholic values, but really they're just common sense values to be a good person. And everybody, regardless of your beliefs, should strive for that. So there is, I think, another slide on, qualities that someone who has a healthy spirituality might have. So when you're done this slide, let me know, and then we'll move on to the next one. And then I think there's only 1 or 2 more slides, and it's about, ways that you can improve your spirituality. Also, guys, I just want to say, I know it's been a hard transition to being online, and obviously getting the news, last night that we are staying online, until we don't know when. It's been difficult, and I just want to say you guys are killing it. You're doing great. I know it's hard to, you basically have to hold yourself accountable for getting your work done. And that's a lot of responsibility at your age, and that's hard. It's not like I'm there face to face to hunt you down and tell you a million times a day, like, hey, this is due, don't forget to do this, or hey, get back to work, get focused. That's something that you guys have to now do on your own. And I know how difficult that can be. And I just wanted to give you guys the praise that you deserve, because you're doing awesome. I think especially on social media, there's a lot of stuff going around about praising teachers for, changing their teaching style to accommodate online learning, and, praising the public and stuff. But I don't think they praise you guys enough, because you guys are really the ones that are impacted. You're the ones that have to, stay inside and, work on a computer all day. You have to be basically your own teachers for some things, right? You have to, especially if you have a crappy internet connection, you have to take the time to learn the material, and make sure that you get it on your own. You have to work on your time management. It's not okay, guys, you have an hour of this, in the morning to get working on this, and I'm not circulating the room, telling you to get back on track. It's super hard, and you guys deserve a lot of praise and appreciation. So good job. I see you. All right, Simon, are you done this slide? I'm going to take your silence as a yes. Some other qualities that someone might have and when they have a healthy spirituality is, like I said, they might have a positive self-esteem. They will promote peace. They'll find time to worship or pray or to meditate. Usually, like I said, someone who's spiritual but not religious, meditation is very important. But we also are introducing meditation into our Catholic rituals as well. I remember, I'm sure you guys, if you came from a Catholic elementary school, and I think we've done it once virtually this year, but we try to do what's called Christian meditation, right? So it's just quiet. You're reflecting on usually a Bible verse or something, and letting it sit with you and really fully understanding what the passage is saying. So we're trying to take time to do that as well. So we can see as, religious people, how important that is. We can understand the importance of forgiveness, right? So forgiveness is more for you than it is for the other person. So yeah, maybe, like I said, we stress that forgiving does not mean forgetting. So you can forgive someone, and that might make the other person feel good, and feel happy that you've forgiven them. But then they're still kind of in the same boat when you say, just because I forgive you doesn't mean I want a relationship with you anymore. I wish you well, but you have to, carry on in life without me. But like I said, forgiveness is more about ourselves. So it's about, letting that weight off our shoulders and not, thinking about and dwelling on something. If you can forgive something, you can kind of let it go, but you don't need to forget about what happened. Someone with a healthy spirituality will recognize that his or her time on earth must be used wisely. So we don't waste your time very often. And you understand that sin and death are realities, meaning that they're real, they're inevitable, it happens. So like I said, someone with a healthy spirituality might not have all of these qualities. They might only have one or two, but they're working towards the other ones. But you might even find yourself right now that you have some of these qualities, and then maybe you see some that you're like, yeah, I could work on that. So it's not a matter of you have to have all of these qualities and do them really well in order to have a healthy spirituality. You can still have a healthy spirituality and have one or two of these, down pat. But now like, all right, I want to work on. So like maybe I really promote peace. Maybe I do find time for prayer. I definitely understand the importance of forgiveness for myself. I know that my time on earth should be used wisely, but do I often find myself lazy or maybe wasting my days? Of course, it's just how life works sometimes. Do I need to work on my self-esteem? Definitely. So you can see that there's areas that you might find like, oh yeah, I can check these off quite well. But there's also areas here that I need to work on. So let me know when you are done this slide. Chloe's done. Simon, let me know when you're done if you can. Perfect. All right, so how to improve your spiritual health. So some things that you can do to work on those qualities from the 2 slides before are to slow down and take time to reflect silently. So you might have had a really busy week. You might or even a busy day when you're like, I feel like yesterday 3 o'clock came so quick and I was like, where did the day go? And I was just feeling very overwhelmed and stressed. So I just needed to take time to sit down, breathe for a second and like reflect, okay, like what did I accomplish today? And that usually alleviates a lot of my stress because I can see things out more clearly. Like, whereas like life is busy and we rush around, and especially right now, we spend a ton of time in front of a computer. Is that healthy? No. Do we have any other option right now? No. But it's important for you guys to take time to slow down and just reflect on your day, reflect on your week, things like that. So be open to exploring new ideas and spiritual experiences. So if someone came up to you and said like, I do this, I have this ritual I go to, or even like something like yoga, maybe they have a really spiritual, based or centered yoga practice. And you might think like, this is silly, and be like not open to it at all. You have to make sure you're open to new ideas and open to these experiences, because it might be something that you try and you're like, wow, that was actually super helpful. You need to learn from your suffering. So like I've told you guys a million times, I've talked about how when my dad died when I was 11, I like shut down, right? I lost all my hope and, in God, and I like lost my faith. I stopped believing. But I was also little, like I was young. 11 years old is very young. Had that happened to me now, then obviously I would be able to a lot quicker realize that I need to learn from that suffering. But it doesn't really matter like when it happens, as long as you can learn from your suffering. And then enjoy opportunities to explore your spiritual side. So like I said, like we were just talking about how praying can be difficult or dry. Try to approach prayer with enthusiasm, be excited about it. Make it a habit. So that way you know that your day might feel weird if you don't pray. So if that's something that you want to do, like think about it. Like I, at one point, obviously not with the pandemic and lockdown, but at one point in my life, I would go to the gym every single day. And if there was a day that I couldn't get there or I couldn't go, it felt weird. Like my day felt incomplete. So if you make prayer a habit, say you wake up every single morning and you pray, Like maybe you set your alarm for 10 minutes earlier just so you can sit down, reflect, and be with your thoughts and pray. Then you can, sorry, I'm just reading Devin's question there and it threw me off for a loop. But if you set your alarm, like I said, 10 minutes earlier, so you can take time to reflect in the morning before you get up and do your, all your stuff for the day, and you take on that busy day, to pray. And then say there's one morning you do that every morning, and that's how you start your day. And then there's one morning maybe you sleep in or your alarm doesn't go off and you're flustered and you get up and you have to rush to do things. It'll feel weird that you miss out on that you didn't pray in the morning, right? So it's just taking time to make that a habit in order to approach it with enthusiasm. Sam, you will find that for the test review in the Grounds for Justice reading. And Devin, how do you clean your glasses without the streaks on your stuff? So my glasses are in here right now and they're in the other, making my room. But usually I don't I'm the worst for cleaning my glasses. My glasses are always horribly dirty. But I don't use like a spray or anything, because I find that it makes it worse. But you could use if you wanted Windex. Windex is a glass cleaner, so it would work on your glasses. But use a cloth, or a t-shirt, something with a soft material. Don't use a paper towel or a Kleenex or toilet paper, because it will leave marks on it. But I usually just breathe on them, to be honest. I just have hold them, put the lens kind of near my mouth and breathe hot air on them, and then use a shirt or a cloth to clean them. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, so this is the last slide. So let me know when you're done writing this slide down. And then Chloe's done, Simon's done. Perfect. So this afternoon, now we are done our note. We have 5 minutes to spare before I suggested that we'd be done. But what I want you to do is this afternoon, you really need to buckle down, guys, and get the work done from this week. Okay, so you're working on your Justice Scrapbook assignment. You can see everything that's due is up here, right? So work on your Justice Scrapbook assignment. Like I said, if you have any questions about it, or talk to each other, open up a Teams chat and talk to each other. You guys can still message each other in this daily meeting chat if you have questions, and you guys can talk to each other about it. You can send each other your stuff so that way you can get feedback on it. It's definitely not as hard as you're making it seem. I've done some one-on-one meetings, and I've done a lot of, working on the scrapbook with a few people in the class. And then they, commonly amongst everyone, they say oh, that's not nearly as hard as I thought. It's not. And it's definitely, if you're thinking that it's hard and you're stressed about it, you're thinking too much about it. I'm telling you, it's not a difficult assignment. So help each other out. If you have questions, ask me. I will literally be up, and I can message you on Teams. We can chat if you have any questions, and I will, do my best to help you. So make sure that's done, because you have that due by Sunday night. This is the Who Should I Obey? That's your discussion post. So your discussion post and 2 responses are also due by Sunday night. And then by tomorrow night is your preferential option for the poor handouts. That's that handout that's literally only 5 questions based on that reading. And then, like I said, I'm going to have the unit test open tomorrow for you. That being said, don't worry about it tomorrow unless you're done your test review. If you need to work on your test review over the weekend, do that, and then worry about the test on Monday. Because I stress, do not start the test until you're ready, because you only get 1 attempt. And we are in crunch time now. Yes, Chloe, you have to respond to 2 people's posts. Yeah, so that being said, by Monday, if you take your test, that should be the last thing other than the CCA that you have left to do for me. So make sure you have everything done. You're totally caught up. You can come on here, see what you've put on the Dropbox, check your due dates along the side here, and make sure you have everything done. And like I said, tomorrow I'll have the test available. So if you find you're done your review by tomorrow afternoon, you want to get it out of the way and do it, go ahead. If you find maybe you finish your review over the weekend and you're not doing anything because we're in lockdown anyways, then take your test. But if not, just wait, make sure you get everything done, your review done, everything's good to go. And you can do your test on Monday. And then Monday and Tuesday, we are slowly dedicating our days to CCA. Sam, let me see what the test review. I'm gonna open the test review on here. Where was it? From yesterday, I think. Give me a second, I'll see. Because I thought that there was a question. I might have taken it off, but I thought there was a question on what makes praying hard. Right, nope, so I guess I took it off. So I thought I had a section on here about what makes praying difficult, but I guess I took it off. So never mind, Sam. I don't need this. Okay, so give me a second. Let me unshare my screen. So do you guys have any more questions for me right this moment? If not, as like you're getting to work, like I said, guys, use your afternoon right now wisely. Alex, what's up?
Okay, I just got back from doing something and all I saw was the test review. So when's the test, like when does this test start?
So I'm going to have the test available for you guys as of tomorrow, but it will be open until Monday night. So you don't, or possibly I might even have it open until Tuesday morning. So make sure you have your test review and everything, all your work and stuff done before you worry about taking the test. So you can worry about it on Monday.
Is this the last test before like the thing's over?
Yep.
Yep.
Last test.
But okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, so if you guys have any questions, oh, Devin, I know I'm sad too. I'm gonna miss you guys. I also don't love the idea of starting our new classes online. So I feel bad that for everybody involved that has to start our new classes next quad online.
Agreed.
The worst, but we'll make it work, guys. That being said, you are good to go. We finished our meeting, 20 minutes early, which is awesome. If you have any questions, like I said, just email me or message me on Teams. And if you want to have a one-on-one meeting or something, just let me know and I will absolutely do that. Oh, yeah. So Sam, I have your stuff. If you emailed me, guys, if you emailed me work, I have a folder on my computer that is from your submitted assignments. Dayton, we have Monday and Tuesday together as well. But yeah, this is just the last time basically that we're together. Which is sad. So we'll have Monday, Tuesday together. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the following Monday you have with your week A class.
So if we're good to go, I'm going to leave.
Yeah, you guys are good to go. Let me see, Sam, because I have everything written down by hand, like marks wise. And Sam, where are you here? Yep, I've got your moral dilemma and your Christ-like love. Everything's like I said, the only thing is like if you upload stuff on D2L, it's a lot easier for me to mark it on there because I can just mark it, give your feedback, and then you can go on and see it. So as I'm slowly marking things, you'll be able to see your feedback on there. If you've emailed it to me, I have to remember to then like email it back to you, which doesn't, it usually takes me a while because like I said, I'm just in a flurry of marking things. So I don't always remember to email it back to you. But yes, Sam, I have it and I have marked it. So you guys are good to go. Yes, Devin, what's up? What do you mean? Can you go back? Oh, yeah. So there's an undo button. So the top left, you'll see like an arrow, like it looks like a little arrow that goes to the left. That's the undo button. So just click undo and it will pop back up. Let me see. I'll show you my screen. I'll share my screen, Devin. I'll show you what I mean. So if you're on Canva, quit it. 1 second. Knox. No. Yep, Bram, you can have a one-on-one meeting after. Okay, so for example, Devin, if I was on here, I clicked this, and I clicked delete by accident, and I was like, oh no. You'll see this little arrow right here. Click that and it will pop back up. So hopefully you were able to see that and let me know. Hopefully it works. Okay, you're welcome. All right, guys. Yeah, so you're good to go. I will see you guys all tomorrow morning. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.